Hey guys, it's Christian, your Vancouver Realtor, and the topic for today's video is 55,000 new immigrants coming into Vancouver? Yes, that's what the reports are suggesting, and this is going to put an increase, a pressure on rents to go really high. I'm going to dig into some of the numbers, but also share a few stories, anecdotes from myself and just what I'm seeing in the sort of front lines of the rental market here with you. And just before we do this, I'll tell you, look, as a renter, you always want to be thinking about home ownership. That is clear. Very clear. And the reason, sometimes renters will tell me, well, I don't want the responsibility of having a mortgage. Let me tell you something. You're paying a mortgage, you just don't know it. Your rent is paying your landlord's mortgage. My tenants are paying my mortgage. So you're already paying a mortgage. So the next thing you want to do is really get your own place. And when you get your own place, you will then build all that equity in your future, and you have what I call the Hawaii fund, right? Which is 25 years down the road, you've paid off your mortgage, now you can go and travel, spend time with family, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful, right? So now, let's get back to these reports and the rental trends we can expect to see in the market. First thing is, I want to say that you're going to see the rents go up. You've seen articles and headlines about this online already, I'm sure. Recently, we have the average rent downtown is in Vancouver is $2,200 a month for a one-bedroom. That brings us up to where we were in February, March, pre-pandemic, 2020. Two bedrooms are over $3,000 a month. Same thing. Those are at pre-pandemic levels. Now, if you're a landlord out there and you're wanting to find a really good website to use, the one I would suggest is Zumper.com. It's I found they're quite accurate in terms of their numbers, and it's a very useful resource. We'll link to it in the show notes. Just going over some of the numbers here, they had downtown Vancouver climbing to $2,450 a month for a one bed, and the West End was $2,100 a month for a one bed. Now, very important to note, I think these numbers may even be underreported. I think rent prices are going to keep going up. Let me explain why. I live here in the West End, over on Alberni, and we have seen rent one bedrooms in our building. Just recently one sold, which a very low floor, nothing special, no balcony with this one either. Quite dingy inside. My wife went in to see it and she said it looked awful. Well, she talked to the owner of the unit and he says he's rented it out for $2,500 a month and had a number of people who were willing to take it at that price, about a handful. And this was not spectacular. It was old, dingy. There was no closet storage space inside the unit, not much anyway. So that really shocked me, and I must have asked my wife 3 times, "Are you serious? $2,500 for that suite?" And she said that is what she was informed. So that's one example. If we're going to see that, you won't see those numbers reported for another 1 or 2 months in February and March, but you may see a real spike here in the rent prices. Another example, I helped clients just about 2-3 weeks ago buy a very nice studio on Richards in Yaletown. It's all set up, brand new flooring, it's well laid out. The flooring cost $11,000. So this is a really nice, ready-to-go studio. It could be rented furnished. And they were putting the ads on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. I think they were asking 21, 22, 23. And they were getting a lot of interest at those numbers. Again, that's higher than what the online articles are telling us studios are going for, which are about $2,000, $2,100. So just expect with this influx of immigrants. We're also going to see more contract workers. This is when people are coming up from California. They're working on a 3-4 month project. They want to be downtown. Maybe they're in the film industry. You're going to see more international students coming in. International students, often Japan and Korea, they're studying for 6 months English at a school downtown. You're going to see that. Those groups will often take shorter term rentals. When I mean shorter, I don't mean Airbnb. I mean 1 month, 3 month, 6 month type rental contracts. There's a lot of stratas downtown where they limit the minimum period to a 1 year rental, but there's equally as many that limit it to have a limit of 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months as well. Our building, for example, does a 6 month minimum. This is not Airbnb, it's just the minimum rental period. And those units are going to go back into a lot of international students, a lot of contract workers. As the economy opens up with the loosening restrictions, a lot of people are going to be occupying those units. It's going to be there's less available, less supply, and you're going to see rents really start to jump for that. That really caught my attention when I saw that 55,000 new people are expected to move into the lower mainland this year. That would break a record, by the way. The most we've ever had was about 40 to 45,000 that have moved into the lower mainland. So you're going to see a lot more cars on the street. You're going to see a lot more people on the street. I'm already noticing that. And you're going to see in the next several months, that's going to be reflected in rent prices. So again, if you're out there, you're sitting on the fence, make that decision for yourself to get a home. Make that decision. The hardest part about that is saving the down payment. I know, I get it. Sometimes there's people in your sphere, your family, that really want to help you. Talk to them. Mom and dad, or the bank of mom and dad, as I like to call it, they're there. They care about you. I get 19 out of 20 of my clients gets a loan from their parents or get some kind of gift money from their parents. Vancouver is the big leagues of real estate. It is not an easy market to break into. It is fine to get help from others. Okay. A few other points on this. We had the housing minister for the provincial government, the NDP. He talked about the increase in population growth. This is a sort of second trend that I want you to be aware of, and that is just the increase in the number of people. And he had, quote, the bottom line is you've got 25,000 people every 3 months moving to Metro Vancouver, then you need to build homes for them, end quote. That's David Eby. When the NDP came into power over 5 years ago at the provincial level, they didn't talk like this. They really seem to have understood that this is a supply issue. When we had the local mayor, he's also an NDP mayor here in Vancouver, he didn't talk like this either, and I've heard him now at city council meetings talking about supply. Supply is the issue. So these guys are now converts to the reality, which we were telling them 5 years ago, which is you need more homes if you want more people coming into the region. And remember, the federal government sets immigration targets. It has nothing to do with the province or the local government. That's dictated by or stipulated by the federal government. And we have targets of 407,000 people moving here, 1.2 million for the next 3 years expected to come to Canada. If you're scratching your head thinking, why do we have all this immigration? Very simple. We need more people. There is a lack of people. That we need more jobs filled. It's not just high-skilled tech workers that are moving to Vancouver and Toronto. It's also all levels of workers that are needed. A good example of this, you may have found this, I certainly have. When I'm driving my car, I'm listening to radio commercials. I have companies like Amazon coming on the radio saying, hey, come apply at Amazon. Signing bonus, $2,000. They'll give you $2,000 just to sign that you will work with them. This I knew when I heard this. I said, whoa, they must seriously lack people. They need bodies. And I think that's an issue. It's also an issue in the restaurant industry, the hospitality industry. They need bodies. And that's why we're going to see a lot of immigration, especially the next 3 years. Now, moving along, and oh, by the way, don't forget, you also have construction downtown core. Apple, Deloitte is building an office tower right across from the Vancouver Library, just down the street on the former Canada Post building, where Amazon is building their Vancouver head office. 4,000 employees are going to move in there. That's expected to be finished sometime in 2023. You imagine, you get 4,000 Amazon employees. These are skilled tech workers making $80,000 to $120,000 a year, and maybe more. I've just read that Amazon has lifted the caps on how much they're going to pay their employees. These are people moving into the downtown core. A lot more demand. They don't want to be living out in Coquitlam. So you can imagine the rents downtown are going to face pressure, continued pressure, from very high quality tenants, I might add. A third trend that you're going to see here in the rental market, perhaps, is because the prices increase, is you're going to see families, groups of people wanting to rent. We just put our Brentwood 2-bedroom, 1-bath up for rent, and we've noticed that we're getting inquiries from 2 families. And so, it's husband and wife, or partners and partners wanting to share this space. I think one reason is there's not enough good places out there, and ours is a very nice renovated 2-bedroom. I think the second reason is rents are going up, and people want to be able to share that rental burden with more people. And a third reason is there's just not enough homes out there. So that's going to be an issue. And we haven't been building a lot new homes, especially during that pandemic period where I didn't read about a lot of new applications for towers in the local area, whether it's in Burnaby or in Vancouver. So we may start to see that trend emerge where you have groups of people wanting to rent one condo. I know there's another example of this. I'm selling a place downtown on Alberni right now, and there's a family, and then there's the sister, the adult, that lives there as well. So these are some of the emerging trends you're going to see in the rental market. If, again, what you want to do, if you've been in Vancouver for some time, you've got $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 saved up. Think about contacting mom and dad for the rest of your down payment, or reach out to a real estate agent like myself. Happy to connect with you, happy to go over all the options that may be there you don't even know about in terms of getting ready and getting a home for yourself. And if you're a landlord out there and you're wanting to figure out how can I make this work, what are some tips, tools, and tricks, you feel free. I'm always available for a quick pointer. All right, but I'm not a rental agent, so I don't get too in depth on that. All right, if you got any comments, questions, leave that below. We'll see you next time.